People talk about love that you give to your partner when you are in a relationship, and they ignore the kind of love they've always been getting before they even get into the relationship. Because it is what has been deposited in you right from the time you were born, right from your primary caregivers. Those are the things that you are going to pull out.
Welcome to Beyond Butterflies. This is that podcast that talks about love in all its messy, magical, and meaningful ways. I am Samuel Ogunrinola, and together we're going to be diving deeper beyond surface level sparks and those fleeting butterflies. Here we're going to be uncovering the real love stories, what it takes to build them, to sustain them, and of course, what it takes to jettison them when the time arises. From first loves to heartbreaks, soulmates to self-love, this is your space to connect, reflect, and redefine what love really means to you. So whether you're swooning or struggling, or you're somewhere in between, let's go beyond the butterflies and discuss love in its truest or rawest forms. Shall we begin? Today we have a guest. He's a relationship expert. He's someone who is versed. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me the distinguished gentleman. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Samuel Ogunrinola, and I'm a relationship expert, as I said.
Fantastic. Samuel Ogunrinola, it's such a delight to have you here today talking to us.
Thank you.
Now, I have a question, and this question is because there's this general context that love is money. And Valentine's is coming already. You know, I used to have a friend who believes that you cannot make a lady happy with less than 100K. I, on the other hand, think you can wrap plantain inside foil, make it look very beautiful, and give to the lady, and she would appreciate it. What are your thoughts about love and money? What are meaningful, simple ways to show love?
All right, so when it comes to the subject of love, a lot of people have different views, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to two people.
Okay.
The first partner and the second partner, the person that is receiving the gift and the person that is giving the gift. Yeah. So for it to be meaningful in that context, it means that it has to mean something to the person that is receiving it. So it's your job as a man or a woman to actually know what would mean something to your partner. Yeah. And in that context, you're going to deduce the kind of gift you're going to give the person.
Okay. So if I understand you, I'm saying that what matters to that specific person may not be a meaningful gift to someone else.
Of course. It's very personal.
So give me ideas. I mean, Valentine's is coming, like I said, and I mean, some of us want to shoot our shot. So what are cheap things that we can give?
Okay, so
this is tipping economy.
Let's deal with the word cheap.
Okay.
Because it's very relative.
Yeah.
So what is cheap to someone might not be cheap to another person. Mm-hmm. So why don't we just stick to the concept of meaningful instead of cheap? Because
go ahead.
If you want to say cheap things, okay, you mentioned wrapping plantain.
Yes.
And making it look really attractive.
If not, best food don't call.
But trust me, that plantain that looks cheap in that sense might not actually be cheap to someone.
Okay, no lie, don't reach 2K per bunch.
So, especially in this country right now, cheap is a whole lot. It can be a lot. So, but what I would say is, you can get some things that you just know that it's going to meet this person's need at this particular point in time. No matter how expensive or how cheap you think it is. It might be that the person has been craving some sort of food at a particular point in time. Then you know that, okay, this is a season of love where we actually give. So why can't I just get this kind of thing for this person? So it might be this person is looking out to go to a particular place, maybe a vacation or something. That can be some form of gifts for that person at that particular point in time. So the concept of whether that action is cheap or expensive depends on the two partners.
So now talking stage will suffer in this context, because if you don't yet know the person, how do you know what is appropriate or what is meaningful to the person? I mean, if I just meet someone or someone that we've not yet bonded enough to know what the person's likes or interests are.
Okay. Now that you've brought that topic up, then I think people should now shift attention to trying to know the person they want to date before they even commit. Because the relationship should not actually be for trials and errors, especially if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why there is the friendship stage before the actual relationship stage. But a lot of people now jump into relationship before they even try to know this person at all.
Viewers, I hope you can hear. So if we are not yet in a relationship, no expect any gifts.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying you should not expect a gift. I'm just saying that if you do not know what will mean something to someone in a relationship, two things is that you guys are very new in that relationship and you guys don't really know yourself as much, or you probably want to shoot blindly because you might just do anything and feel like, okay, let me see if she's going to appreciate this. And if she doesn't appreciate it, well, good luck to you. But I just feel like before you enter a relationship with someone that you can call your guy or your girl, you should at least know some things about this person.
So it may not yet be time to give gifts. Let's know ourselves first. When we reach one level, then we can now start talking gifts.
Let's just agree to disagree. That's not really what I'm saying. You can gift gifts in a relationship, but do so with knowledge, because it is, as much as it has to be important to the receiver, it has to be important to the giver.
Yeah.
Because whether you like it or not, when I give you something as my partner, even though it is a gift that should be unconditional, but at the same time there is a return that will come back to me.
Absolutely.
The feeling that I'm going to get that you appreciate the gift, that makes it mutual.
Absolutely.
So if I give you something and you throw it off, or I realize that you do not really appreciate it, then it's like the whole idea of giving in the first place.
That thing they pain, make me not lie.
Yeah, so that's it.
I absolutely agree with you. But let's now link that to the individual that is meant to be given.
Okay.
How do you interpret this in the context of self-love? I mean, so how do I also know if I'm doing the wrong thing at that stage of the relationship? Because I feel like if you don't love yourself enough, you may not even be able to love someone else.
You can't give what you don't have.
Talk to me about self-love.
All right. So let me start by expatiating the concept of love itself. Right. So people talk about love that you give to your partner when you are in a relationship, and they ignore the kind of love they've always been getting before they even get into the relationship. Because it is what has been deposited in you right from the time you were born, right from your primary caregivers. Those are the things that you are going to pull out as an adult. Right. So when you as a person, right, what kind of love have you experienced? Right now, when we talk about self-love, in the simplest form, it's just the kind of love that you can give out, that you can give yourself. So any form of love that you can give out and you are giving it to yourself, that's self-love. For instance, if you claim to love somebody, you will want to pay more attention to the person to actually know the person.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you do that to yourself? If you can do that to yourself to actually, go on a journey of self-awareness, that's self-love in that sense.
Hold on, let me think about that. Can I give that to myself? Yes.
Of course. So if you can do that to yourself, that's self-love. Fantastic. Do you understand? Okay, they said there is no love without giving. Yeah. Okay, if you want to show love by giving somebody else, then self-love is actually being able to give yourself gifts. You understand? If you love someone, you want to forgive the person. Self-love is actually realizing that, okay, you mess up. I can actually forgive myself because I love myself. So that's the self-love. You see, any form of love that you can say you want to give out, the ability to give that same love to yourself, that's the self-love.
So you touched on something about forgiveness. Let me take you up there. Can people truly, truly forgive? Especially in the context of, let's use infidelity.
Okay.
So someone has cheated on me now. Okay. Can I truly forgive?
Yes.
How?
Yes. Now, you can truly forgive. Or let me just say, since I'm not you, let me just say, people can actually forgive infidelity. Okay. Infidelity is an occurrence in a relationship, whether it is marriage or whatever. Cheating itself is an occurrence. And whether you like it or not, cheating is an aftermath of some previous occurrences. So if you look at anybody that cheats, look at it from an holistic point of view. What are the things that led to one thing to another before the person actually cheats? There is this idea of, okay, maybe men are the one that cheats the most, or when women are the one that cheats the most. But my own point of view is, cheaters will always cheat, whether they are a man,
men or women. I agree.
You understand? Yeah. Now, when a person finds themselves cheating, what are the things that led to that action? If you say you are in a committed relationship, let's say as a guy now, from a guy point of view, you are in a committed relationship, you love somebody, and then somehow someone else is attractive to you to the point of you cheating to that person. What happened to your partner?
Hold on. Someone else is attractive to you to the point of you, let's keep that word cheating. Let's use that word loving the other person.
No.
Can't you love more than one person?
No, you can't.
You can't.
You can't love more than one
for
person.
God so loved the world, they get.
That's
how many
God,
of us God loves?
Not.
I'm
God.
like God, though. I'm like God. I can love more than one person now.
The distance between the way God thinks and the way you think is like from heaven. The distance between the heaven and the earth.
So you need to know me more.
The concept of one person loving two persons or more than one person is like a result of disorganized concept of love. You know, this love thing in this our generation is already messed up. Okay, if you are agreeing like that you can love
or 4 or 5.
Okay. In what context are you bringing the love? Is it in the context of you being able to like marry someone?
We may not marry. Even okay, so that also leads me to open relationships now.
Okay.
Because that is one solution to infidelity, right? So if I love someone and then I meet someone else, the person is attractive to me as well, I love them as well, instead of committing to one and then being locked away from others, can't we just commit on the go?
So to how many?
There's no limit now.
There's no limit.
The same thing will apply to them also. There's no limit now.
And you call it love.
Why not? What is love?
Exactly. It's because you already have this organized concept of love.
No. What is love? Yeah, what is love?
Okay, wait. Before because if we start about the concept of love today, we might not actually like it.
Let me tell you what I think of love.
Okay.
As a concept, love is you meeting someone, caring enough about the person to give to the person anything possible that you can afford, and you feel a sense of commitment to the person.
Okay.
That is love.
You said 3 things. Care.
Yes.
Gifts.
Yes.
Commitment.
Yes.
Love is more than that.
What else?
Love is more than that.
Oh yeah, what else?
There is consideration.
Yes.
There is empathy.
Okay.
You didn't mention all of those.
They're under care.
They are under care.
They're under care. They're under care though. If I care for someone, if I care about someone, I would empathize with them.
Do you know there is also there is also acceptance?
Okay, yes.
When it comes to real love.
Yes.
I'm not talking about generistic love. When it comes to
all
real
these things
love,
that you mentioned do not stop me from replicating it with more than one or two people.
You can't accept everybody.
Why not? I'm available. They're available.
What does that say about you?
It says that I'm very caring.
You are very caring. You have so much care in you.
Do you understand?
To give to the whole world.
Basically.
I don't agree with you. I just feel like Yoruba would say, Oju kan ladani.
No. Toba shapu no ju mejeji lo ma mu. Okay, you know what? Let's drop this part of the conversation and go into the conventional context of love, right? So people usually say there are different love languages, which means there are different ways that people receive or recognize love.
Okay.
What do you think of that? Do you agree?
The concept of 5 love languages was brought by Gary Chapman, the whole act of service and the likes.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people have actually heard a lot of things about love language, and I'm not here to talk about that. I'm actually here to talk about the satisfaction that love language actually makes in you.
Yeah.
So people talk about somebody having gifting as their love language, which means if you give them gifts, their love fuel tank will fill up.
Yeah.
Right? But what people don't really talk about is what gap in their life is that action actually filling up.
Is a need. They need something, you provide a gift that fills that need.
Chill. What I'm saying is this. If by me giving you something, you feel loved, what does that actually say about you? Is it that when you were growing up, the act of love that has always been shown to you is a form of gift, or you actually lacked it when you are growing up? And when somebody is now giving it to you now, you feel like, oh, this is something unique to me. You know, whether I would like it or not, the whole concept of emotion is actually connected to our brain.
Yes, for sure.
Right? Now, there are some things that when it occurs to you, it will signal danger to your brain.
For sure.
And your brain will resist it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And there are some things that when it happens to you, your brain will welcome it as a safe place.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, you get comfortable with those things.
Yeah.
Now, bringing the whole concept of love language in that sense, if somebody is giving you gifts and it's signaling a safe space to you, it actually means that
there's some deficiency.
It's in 2 ways. It can be that there is some deficiency, which is something that you've always been lacking, and you actually really wish to have, maybe growing up, right? Or it is actually something you are used to, and somebody that is not meeting that expectation is not going to mean that the person loves you. Do you understand? So it now boils down to everybody. Instead of just saying that gifting is my love language, what satisfaction does gifting actually does to you as a person. Go back to your drawing board as a person. What does that gifting doing to you? Because you are not going to meet everybody in life that is going to actually understand that gifting actually makes sense.
But you know, when we started this conversation, you said that love is based on what someone interprets as love. The same way gifts mean something that is meaningful to that person. So now you're also saying that if something is meaningful to you and you're receiving it as love, that means that there may be an underlying reason for that.
Yes, there might be an underlying.
So how do you love people? You can never love correctly.
No, doesn't mean you can never love correctly. What it means is that first, everybody needs to go through this journey called self-awareness.
I agree.
Before they can actually commit to another person.
I agree.
Right? So, which is going to really help us better in relationships in the way we communicate. So, instead of me saying, hey babe, I appreciate it more when you give me gifts. Why don't you say something like, hey babe, you know, when I was growing up, I was actually always love getting gifts from my parents and all that. And if you can actually do that, it's really going to make me happy. Now, that is going to put me as a babe in a form of consideration and empathy to actually like understand you better. Other than me just seeing it as, okay, you just want gifts. Okay. And the day that I did not give it to you, you are acting up. And then I cannot understand why you are acting up. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Because I'm not receiving what you're saying.
Exactly, because I don't know where you are coming from. So the idea is everybody, first, you need to understand yourself. Now, your partner needs to be intentional about understanding you to know how best to love you. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is allowed, but I got to a point in my relationship where I actually specifically told my babe, please teach me how to love you.
Yeah. And then if she says that it is gifts that she wants.
No. If she says
that she wants.
Okay, if she says it's physical touch that she wants, which my kind of understanding that time when I asked her, I will ask her why.
Yeah.
Why is it physical touch? Why? Do you know why?
Let's talk about this physical touch. Is it possible for a relationship to survive without physical touch?
Yes.
So what will you be doing?
What will you be doing?
Tell me now.
Okay, if let me flip it. If you are going to be doing physical touch, is that all you're going to be doing?
It depends.
It depends on what.
If you're locked in a room and there's nothing else to do.
Why wouldn't there be nothing else? What kind of
relationship are you in?
What? You don't have to pray.
If there are no books to read,
get books. Get games. Talk about your future.
Okay.
Talk about things that matters to you.
Yeah.
Talk about your experiences together. Talk about the things you've not been able to do together. Talk about building your life.
So when we are done talking about that,
if you both are comfortable, getting physical and getting intimacy, then of course you can go ahead. I mean, it's just one of the many things that makes us connect to each other as partners. Yeah. There are many ways you can achieve connections as partners. There are emotional connections. Yeah. There are physical connections. There are psychological connections. Yeah. You don't meet up to the you don't meet up to the level of somebody in a relationship just by physical touch.
For sure.
Because people get that satisfaction elsewhere with people they don't even commit to. Absolutely. So why not focus on other things? I'm not saying you should remove the physical intimacy in total. I'm not saying that. To each man his own. Yeah. But if you are not in an environment where you can actually achieve that, does that mean your relationship is going to
okay, so let me be clear. I'm not an advocate of promiscuity or having multiple partners and all of that. I'm also not an advocate that physical touch should be the only thing that people do in a relationship. That is not how I that is not how I think as a person, but it was important that we raise that in conversation so that we can talk about it. Because these are things that people have as issues, real life issues and all that. But really, you have shed a lot of light today. And I really, really want to thank you for all the knowledge that you have shared with us. Indeed, the most important thing is for people to know each other, know yourself, self-awareness first of all, and then put the effort into knowing the other person. Gifting, loving should be meaningful to the other person as much as it is meaningful to yourself. And when you do something good or nice for the other person, there's a feeling of satisfaction that you also get from it. And these are the very important things that makes love. Yeah. Thank you so much, Samuel Ogunrinola. Such a pleasure speaking with you.
You're welcome.
thank you once again for your time and for sharing with us. We have a tiny gift. This is a token from Aribishola Shegun Emmanuel Media and Film Production. We just want to present this to you and say thank you once again for talking to us today.
Thank you so much, ASE Media and Film Production. I really appreciate this. This is a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.